Good morning, welcome to Morning Review. This is Kim speaking on Tuesday, the 7th of March. So, looking at the euro dollar first, and well, yesterday we managed to make some ground into the monthly pivot. Now, we've obviously had a retracement from that. It's a case of, well, we're going to see a sell off below yesterday's lows. We sort of tipped out of them through the Asian session just, but are we going to see a break through that level, or is this flag pattern that's sort of developing on the 4 hourly going to be strong enough to see a continuation to the upside? I'm really starting to look at this a little bit more bullish if we get back above the monthly pivot, as I said in yesterday's weekly review or outlook. Shorter time frames here, we just caught the daily pivot. Now, again, if we can break that sort of level, it certainly will look bullish. The 50 MA is the line in the sand for the short side for me. If it starts breaking down from here, breaks that 50 MA, well, I'll be looking for the continuation to the intermediate downside, and which really follows the sort of bigger term trend, arguably, although we did close outside of that trend on a positive on Friday. So it is that intermediate sort of area here where we could be changing and continuing, as I say, for the upside. And probably wouldn't take me too much to look for some longs. A move above the daily pivot will certainly create interest, and maybe that 500 MA may on the hourlies here be the catalyst for a long position or retracement after breaking it. So it's the euro. Cable, well, cable still looks particularly weak on the dailies here. It didn't manage too well yesterday. It didn't really follow through from Friday at all. It looks very weak. It looks like it's going to come back to last week's lows at this rate. Friday's lows now, it hasn't even caught its daily pivot. It got close but didn't really catch it. I've been steering clear of the pound of late mainly. It's although possibly should have just taken the short side and rode it down yesterday, and it's possibly an opportunity again today. But it's been so temperamental of late that as I say, I've left it. To get too many days like last Thursday where it just chops along. It finally gets towards your target, but it's the time taken here. Well, it could still break down towards maybe last week's lows. The S1, daily S1 looks certainly like a potential, but there is that risk of getting caught in some chop. The dollar yen, well, my original analysis was looking for some downside. It's Friday started that move. Yesterday we saw a bit of a continuation, but it never really went anywhere yesterday. It's just ended up with this sort of doji candle. It's got the potential for me, what I'm looking here, sort of almost a bear flag on this 4 hourly. And when you look at it on an hourly basis, well, it looks like it's starting to roll. Could easily go towards yesterday's lows, and I'm still targeting in my mind that weekly pivot as a potential on the downside if it does sell off. Yesterday it just wouldn't go. It teased, rallied up in the end, but to me it still looks like it's got the potential for the downside. However, if it starts breaking the 50, well, it's a bit more bullish, and maybe, well, it's a hard old move that we saw such a shallow move yesterday. The pivots are pinched here. We may get the pivots in the way, but maybe it will want to break back up and push back towards that monthly R1. Aussie dollar, we saw news out through the evening, through the Asian session even. All it's done at the moment is pushed it back up towards its daily 21, daily 8, which had crossed negatively. Now, it's finally hit the weekly pivot there as well. Not the bullish of candles here, and I'm just sort of looking at this pattern. If anything, it looks like a sort of bear flag that's going on. It really needs to gain a bit of traction here, but on the intermediate hourlies, well, it's already hit kissed the daily pivot. It's hit its R1, R2 with the news. as I say, to me, there's on the bigger time frames, there's an air of weakness. There's nothing really convincing from what's come out of there. The Bank of Australia. So, well, maybe if it starts breaking through the 60-minute 8, it'll become weaker and run back down and actually touch the daily pivot. But say I'm not convinced either way at the moment. It's not one of those pairs, just don't want to be trading yet. Canadian dollar, well, the Canadian dollar yesterday got down double bottoms of Friday and then rallied. It's still to me looking erring on the weaker side. Maybe now it needs to break that 4-hourly 21 for me to be looking on the short side though. Still got a weekly pivot untouched below. It is or has been or is over in an overbought territory on my bigger time frame on the bigger time frames. So really, I was looking for this yesterday to break back down below that those lows. Didn't do it, just rallied on. We'll see how it goes today. If it starts breaking that level, I will be starting to get short again. Okay, that's pretty much it. News-wise today, insignificant real news now. We've had the Aussie Reserve Bank of Australia already report. That's out. Factory orders in Germany already out. Negative figures there. Halifax house price index this morning at 830. Not a big mover. May create a bit of volatility around the pound. After that, trade balance in Canada at 130 and US figures later on may create a bit more volatility with the Canadian dollar than it does with the US dollar at 130, only because it's more of a guide to exports on the Canadian side of things as much as anything. Well, it's a guide in US exports as well, I should add, but not so significant. Right, okay, that's it for me. Have a great one. Bye for now.